Hello and welcome to another episode of Disney Movie Investigations. If this is your first time watching, welcome to the show. On each episode, we take a look at a movie that is featured on Disney+. On this episode, we are taking a look at a recent favorite as we take a look at Free Guy, starring Ryan Reynolds. And stay tuned for our bonus episode as we take a look at part 1 at the history of Disney and video games. And if you are enjoying these videos, please do hit that subscribe button. That way you will never miss a single episode. But for now, sit back and enjoy this episode of Disney Movie Investigation. So like I said, today we are covering Free Guy. This movie was released on August 10th, 2021, and it was directed by Shawn Levy. The screenplay was by Matt Lieberman and Zach Penn. The production companies being Berlanti Productions, 21 Lat Productions, Maximum Effort, Lit Entertainment Group, and TSG Entertainment, with the movie being distributed by 20th Century Studios. The budget for this movie was between 100 and 125 million, and the box office was 331.5 million. But let's take a look at the production of the movie. So in August of 2016, Matt Lieberman spent 3 weeks writing a first draft to Free Guy, and it was sold to 20th Century Fox before they were acquired by Disney. Director Shawn Levy originally read the script and passed on it thinking it was lame, but once Hugh Jackman introduced Levy to Ryan Reynolds, they read the script together and Levy agreed to work on the project. Shooting began in 2019 in Boston and the surrounding area, and Levy decided to hire production designer Ethan Tolman, who together they created a visual Bible for the world and established the rules of the video game world. To distinguish the real world and the video game world, Levy would use special lenses, colors, composition, and framing devices to establish each world as a unique look. The film also features tons of Easter eggs and cameos from other video games and films. Once Fox was taken over by Disney, the filmmakers asked Disney if they could use both Captain America's shield and the lightsaber, and Disney agreed. One of the surprise cameos is obviously Chris Evans, and this was actually suggested by Ryan Reynolds' wife Blake Levy. Evans was in Boston filming Defining Jacob, and Evans agreed to come in if the scene could be completed in 10 minutes. Levy, of course, made this happen. So let's take a look at the cast. So we have Ryan Reynolds, who plays Guy, aka Blue Shirt Guy, Jodie Comer, who plays Millie, Joe Keery, who plays Keys, Leigh Ray Howard, who plays Buddy, Uteris Mduker, who plays Mouser, Taka Waititi, who plays Antoine, and Channing Tatum does a prize cameo as Reverend Benjamins, or Reverend Jammin Benjamins, correct me. So now that we know the cast, let's take a look at the plot. So brimming with optimism and positive energy, single bank teller Guy has spent nearly all of his uneventful life wishing he was one of the cool people wearing sunglasses, people who run his town. But one day, Guy has a chance encounter with the mysterious Millie, the woman of his dreams, and just like that, he is on the brink of making an eye-opening, life-altering discovery. Now, to win her heart, all Guy has to do is take control of his life one step at a time. And then, out of the blue, Millie decides to drop a bombshell. However, is she telling the truth? Above all, if life is nothing but a game, what will it take for an ordinary guy to level up and get the girl? So this movie had extensive marketing. It was actually quite interesting, using a lot of online social media. So to promote the film, Reynolds and Waititi in 2019 would joke about how awesome it would be to work together on a film, completely ignoring that they actually did work together on the Green Lantern movie. July of 2021, Reynolds would release a YouTube video where he would reprise his character of Deadpool, and Waititi would reprise his role as Korg, and they would watch the Free Guy trailer. The marketing team also created exclusive posters that parody other video games, including Super Mario 64, Minecraft, Among Us, Grand Theft Auto, Mega Man, Street Fighter II, and Doom. So would I recommend this movie? I think this movie is very creative and very funny. Ryan Reynolds' performance really knocks it out of the park, and he captures the movie as that everyman likable character, as he normally does in most of his movies. I think the story is really creative, and it's definitely has a rewatchability, is because you can see in the background all the kind of those hidden Easter eggs for both gamers and Disney fans. Overall, I think it's a great movie that came out at the right time. This movie was part of the kind of delayed movie because of COVID, and I think this movie was kind of a lighthearted comedy action movie that came out right as things were starting to get back to normal. So I think it was kind of perfect timing for this movie. So yeah, overall, I think it's a great movie that you should check out. So moving on to our bonus story as we talk about the history of Disney and video games. So during the video game boom of the 1980s, Disney did not actually have a dedicated video game division. Disney would make educational PC software, and then the consumer product division would actually license the Disney characters and franchise them to other companies to develop video games around them. One of the first successes where Disney actually produced their own video game that was not an educational platform was actually the video game Who Framed Roger Rabbit for the Nintendo video game system. The game was actually built in the Disney Records division and then developed with an outside developer who hired some of the animators from the movie to actually work on the game. This was actually extra impressive because the game was made within 90 days to make sure the game was released at the same time as the movie. The game was successful, as it sold more than 250,000 units, and it was covered in a lot of video game magazines as being very innovative. So this was kind of the shot in the arm that Disney needed to create its own internal game publishing and development, and that area of the company was called Walt Disney Computer Software. This was debated internally as a lot of Disney executives were not sure the long-lasting popularity of video games, and should Disney be part of a passing fad that would die out within a couple years. Obviously, they were wrong. Disney would continue to market games for the PC and license characters for the cartridge games. They did find a lot of success in the preschool age computer software games. These would include Mickey's ABCs and Mickey's Colors and Shapes. As time went on, Disney did find success in the cartridge video game systems as well, popular titles being The Little Mermaid and Disney Animation Studio. A Disney Animation Studio would actually be a title that finally put the computer software division of Walt Disney into profit, selling more than the combined 22 other titles that Disney had released prior to that. So Disney did decide to let the computer software division decide which titles they would live to create, and this led to games not having any tie-ins with Disney characters, such as Stunt Island and Coaster. With success, however, this led to more executives wanting their hands in the pie, so to speak, and this led to a lot of projects being stop-started. For example, Roy Disney wanted all the titles to use existing Disney characters, and they spent 2 years developing a Fantasia game, but then it was quickly dropped. Because of all of these projects being abandoned, Disney put Walt Disney Computer Software Division on hold. And that's where we're going to get into part 2 of our story in a future video as we take a look at the formation of Disney Interactive. So thank you so much for joining us here on Disney Movie Investigation. If you've seen the movie Free Guy, please leave a comment below on what you think of the movie, as well as feel free to add any discussion into our start of the history of Disney and video games. What is your favorite title? Did you remember playing any of the early PC software editions? Any comments would be greatly appreciated. So as we look forward to our next episode, we are going to be looking at a 1980s classic as we take a look at Beaches starring Bette Midler. So until next time, I hope you have a magical day, and we will see you real soon.